Welcome to EFFector from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. This is the audio edition of EFF's email newsletter geared towards keeping you on the bleeding edge of your digital rights. This is EFFector Volume 37, Issue 3, titled A New Tool to Detect Cellular Spying. This issue was published in March 2025, and I'm your host, Membership Advocate Christian Romero. Let's start with our top features. First up, meet Ray Hunter, a new open source tool from EFF to detect cellular spying. Cell site simulators, also known as stingrays or IMSI catchers, are devices that masquerade as legitimate cell phone towers, tricking phones within a certain radius to connecting to the device rather than a tower. Ray Hunter is a new open source tool we've created that runs on an affordable mobile hotspot that we hope empowers everyone, regardless of technical skill, to help search out cell site simulators around the world. For our last feature, Trump calls on Congress to pass the Take It Down Act so he can censor his critics. We've opposed the Take It Down Act because it could be easily manipulated to take down lawful content that powerful people simply don't like. Earlier this month, President Trump demonstrated he has a similar view on the bill. He wants to sign the bill into law, then use it to remove content about him. And he won't be the only powerful person to do so. And now, let's roll through some EFF updates. First up, in memoriam, Mark Klein, AT&T whistleblower who revealed NSA mass spying. EFF is deeply saddened to learn of the passing of Mark Klein, a bona fide hero who risked civil liability and criminal prosecution to help expose a massive spying program that violated the rights of millions of Americans. We are forever grateful to him for having the courage to stand up, and EFF will do our best to honor that legacy by continuing the fight. Next up, the FOILIes 2025. Recognizing the worst in government transparency. One of the most powerful tools to fight back against bad governance is public ridicule. That's where we come in. Every year during Sunshine Week, EFF, Muckrock, and AAN publishers team up to publish the FOILIes. This annual report, now a decade old, names and shames the most repugnant, absurd, and incompetent responses to public records requests under FOIA and state transparency laws. Next up, first porn, now skin cream, age verification bills are out of control. Age verification laws do far more than protect children online. They require the creation of a system that collects vast amounts of personal information from everyone. And what started as a misguided attempt to protect minors from explicit content online has spiraled into a tangled mess of privacy-invasive surveillance schemes affecting skincare products, dating apps, and even diet pills, threatening everyone's right to privacy. Next up, EFF to the National Science Foundation. AI Action Plan must put people first. Earlier this month, EFF shared its recommendations for the new AI Action Plan with the National Science Foundation. First, government procurement of decision-making technologies must be done with transparency and public accountability. No secret and untested algorithms should decide who keeps their job or who is denied safe haven in the United States. Second, generative AI policy rules must be narrowly focused and proportionate to actual harms, with an eye on protecting other public interests. And finally, we shouldn't entrench the biggest companies and gatekeepers with AI licensing schemes. And for our last update, guardrails won't protect Nashville residents from AI-enabled camera networks. Nashville's Metropolitan Council is one vote away from passing an ordinance that is supposed to provide guardrails for connected camera systems and the many privacy problems they bring with them. But the only true way to protect Nashville residents against dragnet surveillance and overcriminalization is to block access to these invasive technologies altogether. Now it's time to go through some announcements. First up, EFF at CypherCon. EFF is excited to attend CypherCon for the first time in April in Milwaukee. In addition to having an info booth at the conference, we'll be hosting an Ask the EFF panel and giving a presentation on the digital surveillance and technology impacts on various movements for bodily autonomy. Next up, Livestream, Life and Migration Under Surveillance at the US-Mexico Border. EFF has gathered firsthand knowledge of tech concerns at the US-Mexico border through a series of visits to communities on both sides of the border, where we interviewed journalists and activists and mapped out and documented the proliferation of border surveillance tools. As a result of this work, EFF has created a traveling exhibit featuring information and photographs from several years of research and advocacy. Join our live stream on April 3rd, where we'll explore digital civil liberties at the US-Mexico border and the work that brought the exhibit to life. We'll also be talking about our border exhibit and digital civil liberties at the US Mexico border at an in person event on April 9th. This event is free and will be hosted by the Internet Archive in San Francisco. Next up, EFF at B-Side San Francisco. EFF is excited to be back for B-Side San Francisco from April 26 to 27. We'll be in the expo area. Also, catch our talk about tracking Dark Carceral, the world's dumbest cyber mercenaries, who we've observed making a number of hilarious mistakes which have allowed us to gain insights into their activities and targets. For our last announcement, EFF at Black Hat USA. EFF will also be back in Las Vegas for Black Hat USA in August. We're excited to be back in the business hall, where you can come and say hi and learn more about the work we're doing to defend digital freedoms. If you're planning on submitting a talk to Black Hat USA, the call for papers ends on April 2nd. And now it's time to go through some mini links. This first one comes from Newsweek. U.S. Immigration Service wants social media handles of visa applicants. It really creates a massive chilling effect. EFF Syra Hussein warned Newsweek about a U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services plan to collect social media data on prospective citizens. Green card holders who have lived in the U.S. for decades could be chilled from sharing their opinions because they are concerned they are going to be vetted and denied immigration benefits such as naturalization. Next, from NBC News, the right to repair movement is growing as wins stack up. Speaking to NBC News, EFF's Kit Walsh explained why manufacturers continue to fight against independent repair and how the law needs to be changed to support consumer rights. Next up from Gizmodo, Data Broker brags about having highly detailed personal information on nearly all internet users. The data broker industry is underregulated, opaque, and dangerous because, as you saw in the video, brokers have detailed information on billions of people, but we know relatively little about them. EFF's Lena Cohen told Gizmodo. You don't know what information a data broker has on you, who they're selling it to, and what the people who buy your data are doing with it. Next up from Consumer Reports, your car may be spying on you. Here's how to get it to stop. Speaking to Consumer Reports, EFF's Thorin Klosowski explained why data collection by car companies is so disturbing. Your driving data goes to half a dozen companies you've never even heard of for a reason you perhaps never agree to if asked directly, he said. And we've made it to the last mini link. This one comes from Chicago Reader. Are Chicago police using Crime Tracer? EFF's Jose Martinez told the Chicago Reader how the confusing, secretive history of Chicago's payments for a law enforcement search engine called Crime Tracer is indicative about how much of this is just business and marketing, aside from mass data collection for the purposes of state and corporate violence. And that's a wrap. We've made it to the end. Thanks for listening. If you like what you're hearing and would like to learn more, subscribe at EFF.org/EFFector. Did you know EFF is a member-supported nonprofit organization? You can help us protect digital freedoms online for everyone by donating at EFF.org/effect and even grab some of our latest member gear. Thanks for your support, and I hope you'll join us for the next issue of EFFector.